Ladies and gentlemen, Prrrr is live and Prrrr is big. And you know what is even bigger? The points difference between the Celtics and the Sixers in Game 2. They won by a whopping 34 points, even with the newly crowned MVP Joel Embiid on the floor. My name is Sly Moya. Welcome back to the NBA analysis on Prrrr, where we give you everything about the playoffs that happened within the last few days. So you just heard me right. The Celtics won by a whopping 34 points, beating the Philadelphia 76ers. And even with the MVP on the floor, as I said earlier, Joel Embiid, as they'll be going back to the Wells Fargo Center with the series tied. Now, George, what do you think went right for the Celtics this time around? Because in Game 1, they lost in incredible fashion to the Sixers.
Now, in Game 1, James Harden entered the TD Garden. He ate all the fruitfulness and left Kontomire. So then he changed the TD Garden where he do on Kontomire Gardens. But then you could see that what they did wrong in Game 1, they corrected that and they did good in Game 2. Now, I'm going to talk about three things that went wrong for them in Game 1. Now, the turnovers. In Game 1, you saw that the Celtics had about 16 turnovers. They were careless with the ball. Game 2, they came, they reduced it, they played very well.
Yeah, clutch time too. You could realize Jason Tatum wasn't really doing well with the ball.
They were good. Jason Tatum had a bad game in Game 2, but taking him out, you had the likes of Malcolm Brogdon stepping up big, JB doing JB things. Now, the second thing I also want to talk about was their defense. Now, the perimeter defense in Game 1, you had the Philadelphia 76ers shooting 38 balls from the three-point line. They made 17 out of them. This is questionable. Like a whole Celtics defense having that, allowing a team like that to do that.
They are some of the top defenses in the league.
Yeah. Now, but we saw that in Game 2, the Philadelphia 76ers shot 30 balls from the three-point line and they made 6. That should tell you that they were intense. They logged in the perimeter and also logged in the interior D also. Yeah. Robert Williams doing what he's supposed to do. Now, the third thing I was talking about is Joe Mazzulla's adjustments that he did in crunch time, allowing James Harden to go on that ISO play that was needless. But you see, in Game 2, they changed that. His adjustment was very good and shouts to them. We all knew that they were going to blow them out in there. So most def right now, the TD Gardens is the TD Garden, not Kontomire Gardens.
Yeah. Now, Teddy, for your Celtics, I know when you went down 0-1 to the Sixers, you were like, oh, it's a fluke. And you knew your Celtics will bounce back. Yeah. Even with the franchise player Jason Tatum not having the best of days, you guys were still able to win. What were the deciding factors?
So I'll go back to our series with the Atlanta Hawks. Mm-hmm. So you see, with the Hawks, they always screen and then they get a matchup. That is, Trae Young gets a matchup with our center. And then you see, is it that he blow bys him or he shoots a three? Yes, and with the three and with the center, you cannot come forward to guard him that much. So that was the problem. And I think the Sixers used that same style.
Game 1.
Yes, because James Harden is used to small ball when he was in Rockets. Less centers and with small players, and he implemented the same style in the Sixers game. Off the screen, he gets a big, he shoots or he drives. And if James Harden is driving, it's really hard. And I think Mazzulla made an adjustment, like he said, and it really helped us. And secondly, Jaylen Brown. He was phenomenal. Yep. He was attacking the rim even when Embiid was there. It's amazing. If Embiid is standing there, you can't. But then he was attacking the rim, and that's what we need from Jason Tatum. Please stop shooting.
The aggressiveness.
Yes, the aggressiveness. Well, it wasn't there.
I should say, watching that game, I think earlier on, you could feel Jason Tatum was aggressive, but not throughout the whole game. And that is one thing you can say about Jaylen Brown that really helped him. He was very, very aggressive, even right from the start. So shout out to Malcolm Brogdon, the 6th man of the year, doing big things for the Boston Celtics. Now, speaking of blowout wins, there was another blowout win for the Golden State Warriors. Well, in Game 1, the Lakers won by 5. And then we felt like, LeBron and AD, Charlie, they go sport and things. Now, Richie, the Warriors did their homework, came back, and then won very, very huge. What do you think was the reason why they won very big?
Well, I think when they went back to the locker room, they actually had a really deep conversation. And then Lakers actually thought that because maybe they won the first game, it would be easier, you know. And I'm really surprised AD is still messing up. First game, he was really good.
Yeah.
Second game,
even from the start, he was.
I just don't know what he was doing. You're a big man, for goodness sake. Come on. How you drop 11 points? Fine, you did some rebounds and some blocks, cool. But then, literally, you're supposed to be the big man, do almost all the work. Comparing AD to Joel
Embiid
and AD. You see, they are both big men. AD is just one of the biggest names in NBA as it stands now. So I feel like he should just stop whatever he's doing and just be the big man that he's supposed to be.
It feels like if the Lakers are going to win, it solely depends on
AD.
Anthony Davis. Because
Exactly.
even though LeBron James had a very good game, AD not having a good game made it feel like, yes, the Lakers were going to lose. Now, Teddy, for the Golden State Warriors, earlier when they were about to start the game, it was announced that Kevon Looney was going to be out of the starting lineup because of illness, and then Michael Green stepped up, and he stepped up really big for the Warriors. Do you think that was maybe one of the factors why the Warriors won? Because with Michael Green, we know he can space the floor because he's a three-point shooter.
You see, I'll start with shouts to Steve Kerr because that adjustment was amazing. And in an interview, he said that playing under Popovich and then Jackson was one of the learning stages for him in his coaching career. And you see, starting a shooting big was one of the key things for him. You see, Jermichael Green during the game caught 1 rebound the whole game as a center. And then Draymond Green caught 9 rebounds. So you could see he spaced out to the shooting side to shoot 3, and then he dragged AD with him. And you see, that made the rebounding very hard because no one is there to catch the rebounds for the Lakers, and that changed the game. That was an amazing adjustment. That was really an amazing adjustment.
Interesting. Now, George, I said earlier on Tuesday that for the Warriors to win, Steph Curry has to have the ball in his hands. He had the ball in his hands. He didn't really try to score that much, but he was so smart in the way he was playing, dragging defenders, kicking the ball to the wide open shooters, and they were able to knock down their shots. I'm sure you're impressed with Klay Thompson. What do you think happened for the Golden State Warriors?
Game 1, when the game was about to end, that was when Steve Kerr made that adjustment to make Stephen Curry the primary point guard.
Yeah,
and you
primary
see
ball
that
handler.
They went on the 14-0 run. Now, in game 2, I knew that he was going to bring the same style. And it was quite shocking because you look at the bench of the Lakers bench, you see that is Darvin Ham.
Yeah.
And facing Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr has been there. He's won it all. So if he tends to tweak something, it is up to Darvin Ham to change it. Then and again, this Lakers side, they were more focused on what? Trying to keep Stephen Curry out of the game. No matter what you do around the perimeter, he will fist. Even if he's out of the game, he will find ways to get Klay in the game. And it's amazing. Klay stepped up because when this Warriors team are supposed to get that edge, you look at their bench, it is the points of the bench is awful. So they depend mostly on their starters, the likes of Stephen Curry and Klay. And these are the guys that had to be that had to step up big, and they did. So shouts to him and also. But in game 3, the Staples Center, we are defending it.
Back to
I want to add. You see, when you go back to the Lakers and the Grizzlies, it was when AD had a good game, they win, and the next match he doesn't, and they lose. So you see, they really need AD to step up.
It'd be like it and LeBron said they rush him. They have good game next game. LeBron will have good game.
It's really bad.
To say something, you see, this Warrior side are known to have a good transitional offense. What I say the transitional offense is when they get the ball at the offensive end from the Lakers side, they are quick to settle down to go and make it. Now, this Lakers team is known to be poor in defending like transitional balls, so they should work on that to make sure that they cut all this. Yeah, and I think maybe game 3 they will see.
Oh, moving from one Western Conference series to another, but this time we are focusing on one player. Kevin Durant is in the spotlight yet again. Well, he left the Brooklyn Nets to join the Phoenix Suns. Surely, people are calling it a super team, and it feels like KD joined one super team to another, because we saw what happened in the Brooklyn Nets with one of the greatest offensive trios ever. Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant couldn't do the job, and now he's joined Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Chris Paul. Do you think if KD fails to win a chip this year, is that going to put a dent on his record that if he's without Steph Curry, as the Golden State Warriors fans like to put it, if he's without Steph Curry, he's not able to win? Do you think that just puts added pressure on him, and is that going to hurt his legacy a bit?
So it really go hurt his legacy, because as he did OKC, he had Serge Ibaka, he had Westbrook, and he had Harden, and these were enough to win something. And then he came to the Golden State
Warriors. After the Warriors beat him in the playoffs.
the Warriors beat him in the playoffs, and then you see you now had the Splash Brothers, and then you had Draymond Green, and you had other nice role players around you, and then you were able to win. Now you went to Brooklyn. You said, okay, something's happened. You want to go to Brooklyn. You went there, and then you had one of the amazing handlers you could have, like Harden.
That's why I said earlier,
Kyrie.
one of the greatest offensive trios.
I don't even understand why the NBA allowed such thing to happen, but then it happened, and then you still couldn't win. You got swept. That's even like the worst part of it.
If you not talk, say you got swept. That's your
he got swept, and it's really bad for him. And I think he should come back from this 2 down and then do something. Because if he doesn't, people will always hold this against him.
Now, let me move straight to Richie. Now, we know there's added pressure on Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Do you think they can do something to come back against the number 1 seed Denver Nuggets?
Right, I have a problem. And because Chris Paul is now out, that means there's going to be a lot of pressure that's going to fall on Booker and Kevin Durant. That means they really have to step up. They really have to, because they're not letting it go. Nuggets is Charlie right now. It's wild though.
Yeah.
It's wild.
People had a lot of doubts, but they're really proving people wrong.
Joker is not going to mess. He's going to give his swift passes, like dope shots. So that means Booker and Kelvin Durant, they really have to step up, because if they don't, it's going to be a big problem. And this goes down to where you even said that if they don't win any championship this season, going to be like KD needs a super team for him to win it.
Now, George, when Kevin Durant was on the Warriors, it was arguable that, okay, maybe he was the best player on the team, or maybe Stephen Curry was the best player on the team. But during his time on the Warriors, every time they get to the finals and they win, he usually wins finals MVP. Do you think he was the best player on the Warriors? And then that people should stop saying he needs Steph Curry, even though he was the best player on that team?
27. He joined the Warriors 2016,
16.
where they lost their first finals with the Cavaliers. Now they went to the NBA finals again against the same Cavaliers. Now KD was the finals, like he won the finals MVP. That finals, he was averaging about 32 points per game, more than any team, like any player in that finals. Now, but then and again, you ask yourself, you look back, Stephen Curry and Draymond Green were averaging about 10.1 assists in that finals. They carried KD. They let him
Hey, this matter. The Warriors fans go catch you.
Oh no. You see, as a pundit, if I said to talk like a pundit, I would say that yes, they helped him, because now you can't be scoring without somebody getting the assist. KD is a good player. He gets the ISO. He carries the team and the whole lot. But then and again, KD has been carried. You can see that when he left this team, he's going to the Brooklyn Nets. He got swept. You are facing this Denver Nuggets team. KD will guess, like they will sweep him again. So to end the show, KD needs fun fact. He needs the Warriors and he needs the likes of Steph, Draymond, and Klay to be there. But as a rival fan, to trigger this Warriors fan, bro, he carried the people.
Now, moving straight from the west to the east. Now, a series where we haven't spoken about a lot, but then the steady's favorite player, the Jimmy G Bucket, wasn't in the lineup for Game 2, and then they lost. The Miami Heat lost to the New York Knicks at the Madison Square Garden, and they are going back to Miami for Game 3. Now, Richie, what do you think was the deciding factor for the New York Knicks to be able to beat the Heat at the Garden?
I think because Butler was out actually helped the Knicks to beat them. And the fact that I think when they got to the final stages, Butler actually stood up and was like, yo, I'm coming back. I know that's what he was trying to say. You see, he was literally looking at the team. He was like, yo, don't worry. Game 3, I'm coming back. And when it happens, yo, you guys are dead. You know, so yeah, basically, I think because Butler was out, that was why they actually won. That's
interesting. Teddy, would you also pin that on Butler being out, and that is why maybe the Knicks won?
The Miami could have won actually, because watching the game, it was like you shoot, I shoot, you shoot, I shoot.
Gabe
like
Vincent was very huge.
Very huge. And then the main problem for the Knicks is that Brunson didn't have a game. He wasn't taking charge. I think it was in the latter part of the game that he started hitting up. But then, if they are going to win, they really need him to stand up. And like Randall came back. Randall, we already know Randall. We already know Barrett. They don't play extraordinary, but then they are good role players. And then Robinson wasn't really up to the job.
Yes, like the way he was in the Cavs series.
He was in the Cavs series. I think because Bam is able to shoot from anywhere he wants to, it's really a problem for him, because he doesn't know if he should come forward to D him up or he should stand there. Because mostly as a center, where you can't shoot or you don't have that much speed, you have to stand there, and I think that's one of the problems.
Interesting. We are going back to Miami for Game 3, and it promises to be interesting. Now, final topic before we leave. The NBA is very, very ruthless. Yes, the reason why I'm saying that is yesterday, Charlie, we did Norway ESPN top reporter Adrian Adrian Wojnarowski just released that the Bucks have fired Mike Budenholzer, and people were calling for his head, and then people were also sympathetic that he also lost his brother during the final game. It was very, very interesting. Now, the reason why I said the NBA is ruthless is if you watch the last 4 champions of the NBA in the Warriors, the Lakers, the Bucks, and in fact, it's very interesting because they've all sacked their coaches. Apart from the Warriors, who have still kept Steve Kerr, Mike Budenholzer is gone, Nick Nurse is gone, and Frank Vogel is also gone. Now, the Bucks need another championship coach to be able to take Giannis to the final and then maybe win another chip. George, who are your favorite candidates for the Bucks coaching job?
Frank Vogel. He's available. He can take this team there. We saw him doing wonders, things with Indiana Pacers. He also came to Lakers as his first season with the Lakers. He got them to the bubble. So Frank Vogel is available. They should get him there. But it's quite shocking to see that Budoza got fired.
Teddy, who's your top candidate?
Oh, to be honest, I don't have any. To be honest, I don't, because the NBA is quite dynamic when it comes to its coaching staff. Because you'll be there, and then an interim coach can take over. Someone from the G League can come and take over. Someone from even the university coaching can come and take over. So for the NBA, it's not limited in coaching staff.
Okay, Richie, who's your favorite candidate for this one?
I actually agree with what he just said, and as it stands now, I actually think maybe Charles Lee should step up.
Charles Lee, the assistant.
Yeah, I think he should, because I feel like he actually had more time with the players, actually know how they play, understands them. So he would be able to, use that to build the team. Do you understand? That's what I actually feel personally, but I still agree with what he just said. It's dynamic, so anything can happen.
I like when you brought up Charles Lee, because same thing happened with the Clippers when Doc Rivers was in charge of the Clippers and then he left. They didn't go anywhere else. They went to their assistant, Ty Lue, who's doing an amazing job, even though we are out in the first round. Now, for the Bucks head coaching job, I think there are a lot of candidates on board. We can mention Frank Vogel, who's been out of a job since they fired him from the Lakers, and the current vacant Nick Nurse from the Toronto Raptors, where they went in 2019 with Kawhi Leonard. He could be teaming up with the likes of Giannis, Brook Lopez, and co to do the business. But there's also Mike D'Antoni, the Rockets phenom who did everything for James Harden at the Houston Rockets. So there are a lot of candidates. And for Ty Lue, he could also get out of the job from the Clippers. But the Clippers GM Lawrence Frank said he is going to stay. So watch out for that one. We want to find out who the Bucks head coaching role is going to go for, because there are a lot of things to talk about. It was a wonderful conversation. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you liked the video as well. Kindly subscribe to the channel. There's more NBA playoffs content coming your way. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Slimo. I did this with Richie, Teddy, and George doing all the analysis. Peace out. We catch you next time.